Is this really happening? Independent politicians ruling? No, 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 no. This must be a nightmare. No, 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 no. I'm going back to bed. Wait for me. And this is how the traditional political clans were feeling after the regional elections. Elections that they thought were won, but actually lost in several regions of Colombia. But how dare them to keep thinking that we want more corruption, incompetent leaders and infringements in this broken country. The past October 27, more than 60% of Colombians went out the streets to vote. It was an historic day for political clans. Different cities such as Medellin, Bogota and Cartagena watched how the common candidates and possible winners lost the elections. Bogota was elected as a mayor and lesbian woman that attacks in a decisive way the corruption that is arranged in the high spheres of power. In Medellin, an unknown candidate until a few months before the election won. In Cartagena, won a candidate that only spent 152 million pesos for his campaign, and he wasn't part of the traditional clan in the city. And in Cucuta, won an old man who was not even the favorite in the polls. The main cities were not the only ones that changed. Also, small cities registered winners that we thought impossible. In Turbaco, when an ex-member of the FARC, something that was thought impossible several years ago. In Buenaventura, the winner was one of the leaders from the civic protest. And in Palmira, won the position of the candidate from the clan of Dilian Francisca Toro. But that's not all. There are some more examples that demonstrate Colombian people are choosing different leaders. But why the politics in Colombia are changing? Because politicians here in Colombia love corruption. For example, in Cartagena, 10 councillors were placed at the disposal of the authorities because of leading to an irregular choosing of one of her controllers, Nubia Fontalvo. Also, former mayor Judith Pineda Flores was found guilty of property detriment. But the same corruption happened in the Great Bogota, where 2 million pesos disappeared in a magical way called the contracting merry-go-round. In this corruption case were involved the former mayor Samuel Moreno Rojas and the construction firm of Miguel Nule Velilla. Also in Monteria, the mayor is possibly engaged in El Cartel de la Toga, a corruption case that diverted cases in the Supreme Court in addition to kill and bring possible witnesses. Incompetence in power is leading Colombians to choose different people to govern. Some mayors and department governors are not prepared to talk with the people and express clear ideas. In Bogota, the actual mayor, Enrique Peñalosa, was ridiculized when he wasn't able to describe what was a thief. So, they're fighting against the criminality, but they don't know what is a thief. This is not the only case. Also, the incompetence is expressed in the way they name the infrastructure works. In Medellin, Aníbal Gaviria put his name for one of the greatest work ever done in the city, a tunnel in Parques del Rio. All these situations disappoint the people and make them notice that they need a change that is perceived with the new leaders. Leaders such as Daniel Quintero, elected mayor in Medellin, and Claudia Lopez, elected mayor in Bogota. The last reason is infringements. The clearest example is the metro in Bogota. For more than 30 years, mayors have been promising a massive way of transport that will solve the awful situation of moving in such a big city, but not a single brick have been put to construct the metro. Politicians are very used to promise and promise during the campaign, but when it comes to governing, all those promises disappear. The infringements are also seen in the coastal zone of the country, where there is an electricity company that doesn't work. Mayors of important cities like Cartagena and Barranquilla have promised to solve all the issues of the company, something they haven't done at all. Thus, there is serious problems like not providing energy to families during days, even when this is affecting their food, the way their kids study, and the way they communicate with their relatives. All mentioned here are a few examples. Actually, Colombians are changing because they need it. They are tired, they're heartbroken, and they want to have a society reborn. Aspects like health, education, entertainment, and dignity are being miscarried by all the regional governors, and they can't stand it anymore. The past elections were a demonstration that new horizons are near. We are the key, and the democracy is our door. We are completely independent to keep opening that door or to definitely close it forever. I know after all this, there are going to be several questions, but I will answer all those questions with another questions. Are we really prepared for this change, or is this just part of another political illusion? So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have learned a little bit more about how the politics in Colombia are working.